Occupy Wall Street. What do they want? I think it's obvious what we want, isn't it? Any idiot who spends 15 minutes out in any of the occupations talking to the people there will come away with some idea of what our demands are. The economic mode upon which our society is based, by whatever name you want to call it, is a homicidal machine, which requires us to ignore the connections between the way we live and the problems in the world. For the machine to continue working, it requires us to devalue the lives of people that we'll never meet, either because they live far away in other states or other countries, or because we will not live to see them born. For the machine to continue working requires us to ignore the fact that the lights that are on in your house right now are most likely powered by electricity that comes from burning coal, and that extracting that coal from the ground means that people in West Virginia and Pennsylvania are going to die of cancer and mercury poisoning. For the machine to continue working requires us to not think about the fact that your cell phone or your laptop's Wi-Fi is made possible through the rape and forced labor of women in Central Africa, who are brutalized and forced to work in mines against their will to extract the rare earth minerals that make Wi-Fi possible. For the machine to continue working requires us to ignore the fact that our grandchildren's grandchildren will inherit an earth characterized by the pervasiveness of toxic chemicals polluting the air, water, and soil. A world devoid of unspoiled wilderness. For the machine to continue working requires us to ignore the fact that we are killing the very planet that sustains us. It requires us to ignore the fact that we are now so in control of the elements of nature that we have fundamentally altered the chemistry of the ocean, causing massive die-offs of coral reefs. We have filled our oceans with garbage. There is an island the size of Texas made of garbage in the Pacific Gyre. The United States alone has enough nuclear warheads to destroy all life on the planet 14 times over. That is ludicrous. That's homicidal. We all know that this is wrong. We know that there is a better way to do things, a better way to organize our society. We may not be sure of how to get there from here, but this remains. The machine must be stopped. The homicidal machine that is Western crony capitalism is made of all of us. When we comply with the roles that the system says we're supposed to fulfill, when we do what we're supposed to, we become more and more trapped by it. But we cannot simply walk away from it. The grip of the machine on our lives is far too great for that. If this homicidal machine had a brain, the nervous center would be in Washington, D.C. If the homicidal machine had a heart, it would be located on Wall Street. I would like, with this video, to revitalize the rallying cry of the Occupy Wall Street movement. The movement has never been at its core about sleeping outside. What the movement has been about is creating a new world, creating a new way to organize society. That new world is just in its infancy now, and the old world has been trying to crush it in its nascent stage before it has a chance to take hold. But it's taken hold now. But it is still in its infancy, and the old world, the homicidal machine, is still going to try to crush it and kill it. This is because the new world is a direct threat to the very existence of the old one. In order to make this new world possible, in order to give this new world a chance to survive, we must destroy the old one. We must stop the homicidal machine from working. We must shut down the brain and the heart of the homicidal machine. There's a prophecy by the elders of the indigenous people who live in the area where the Keystone XL pipeline is going to be. This prophecy says that one day, the ways of mankind will be so wrong and so dangerous to the earth that Mother Earth will rise up to correct things, and that the people of the world must either rise up with her or face extermination. Those of us in the Occupy Wall Street movement, we are like white blood cells. Our world has been infected by a homicidal mode of economy, a homicidal mode of thought, a homicidal mode of living. We must heal the earth, and we must heal our society. We must clog the halls of Congress with our bodies and prevent it from functioning. We must clog the New York Stock Exchange and prevent it from functioning. We must be there like white blood cells attacking an infection until the homicidal machine is healed and dismantled. Have you ever been surfing? Right now there's a wave of energy gathering. When a wave gathers energy, the ocean pulls backwards away from the shore, and the ocean becomes thin and shallow. There's a lull. The larger the wave, the greater the lull. This winter will most likely prove to be just a lull before the next wave. Don't despair as the numbers dwindle and as maintaining the occupation becomes harder and harder. At the point just before things turn in the other direction, the draw out to sea is the strongest, and it looks like you're being pulled away from the shore, pulled away from your destination. But if during this low point you're able to look around and position yourself well, you can ride that wave as it comes surging back. So occupiers this winter, stay strong, hold your ground, but don't worry too much about dismantling the machine or direct action this winter. It's cold, It's time to focus our energy inwards and focus on maintaining this community that we've built. It's time to focus on germinating that new way of ordering society, one based on love and compassion and abundance and not on scarcity and sociopathy. And this spring, during the week of the vernal equinox, when Earth's life will come surging forward, let us surge with it. Let us descend by hundreds of thousands onto Wall Street and Washington, D.C. and shut the machine down. A homeless man came up to me while I was at the occupation of Freedom Plaza in D.C., and he said to me, randomly, out of the blue, "I'm gonna say this to you because you seem like the kind of person who can appreciate this. Being here in this space, I don't have to say anything to be heard. I have power that comes simply from being here." And that's turned out to be true for the entire Occupy movement. While I've spent time on Wall Street and in Washington, D.C., I've seen how scared the machine is of us. At the Chamber of Commerce, all we had to do was show up and they shut the building down. At the Hart Senate Office building, all we had to do was show up and they shut the building down. At the Rayburn House offices, with just 15 people, all we had to do was show up and they closed down the hallways, not even allowing congressional staffers through. Our power comes from simply being there. The machine is used to us misdirecting our anger into online petitions, Facebook groups, rallies, and symbolic protests, symbolic arrests. But if we simply show up to the scene in which the crimes are happening, suddenly the homicidal machine is exposed for exactly how powerless, naked, and illegitimate it really is. So you want to stop the machine? All you have to do is show up. And the machine, which knows exactly how weak and frail it really is, will flip out and go into self-preservation mode. And at that point, the only thing we need to do is wait. If we scare the machine into shutting itself down out of fear every day for weeks on end, the machine will starve itself to death. If the machine lashes out with violence against us, that only betrays the total lack of legitimacy that the machine has a right to exist. It doesn't. The homicidal machine is criminal, and it must be stopped for the sake of all of humanity. And through peaceful nonviolence, we will force this homicidal machine to betray exactly how illegitimate it is. On this vernal equinox, March 20th, let us simultaneously invade the New York Stock Exchange and the halls of Congress in D.C. and bring the machine to a halt. Will I see you there? I hope so. To life, liberty, and pursuit of a less fucked up government. The next 18 people who put in orders over at punkpatriot.etsy.com will get a free copy of my band's CD, Theodore Treehouse's Mercury Closest to the Sun. You can subscribe to the Punk Patriot Show for free by clicking on the button. And if you want to support what I do monetarily, I would really appreciate it. Go to punkpatriot.blogspot.com and sign on to become a monthly subscriber. There's different thank you gifts that go along with each of those, so check those out. Or if you think some of my videos suck and don't deserve your support, you can donate for the ones that you like, and then you can just not donate when I post ones that you don't like. It's fine by me. Be sure to go and check out the Get Punk Patriot in Your Inbox button. That'll sign you up for updates. Also, I make t-shirts, so go over to punkpatriot.etsy.com and check those out. If you like one, you can buy it. They're reasonably priced, especially the propaganda ones, because I want to get as many of those out as possible. To life, liberty, and pursuit of a less fucked up government.